Hi, this is Author Robinson Jr. I am the creator of PowerfulInterviews.com. I am the creator of AudioSecretsTrainingEvent.com. I want to welcome each and every one of you to this powerful video. In this video, you're going to experience life-changing information that you will not find anywhere else. I have secured an incredible interview with a great friend of mine, international speaker. His name is Marshall Sylver. Marshall Sylver is a leading expert in subconscious reprogramming. Marshall Sylver gets $75,000 for a 2-hour keynote speech. That is phenomenal. Marshall Sylver has overcome going through the pitfalls of poverty when he was a young child, and now he is a multi-millionaire, and he resides in Las Vegas, Nevada, with a 17,000 square foot home and a $10 million beach home in Southern California. So in this interview, you're going to hear exclusively about Marshall Sylver says people have to take action now if you want to take your lifestyle and your business to the next level. Marshall Sylver also breaks down layman's terms about communication equals wealth. Marshall Sylver also breaks down layman's terms about how his infomercial has generated over $200 million a year and much, much more. So remember, this is not bullshit information. The correct information will change your situation. Remember, wealthy people take advice from other wealthy people, and broke people take advice from broke people. But like Abraham Lincoln says, you cannot help the poor by being one of them. So right about now, go get your pen and your pad, sit back and relax, and write down some notes. In this interview that I'm going to reveal to you with my great friend, international speaker, best-selling author, Marshall Sylver, this interview is going to change your life. So check it out. Today, I have a wonderful person on the call, and he's a great friend of mine. His name is Marshall Sylver. And for those that don't know Marshall, let me explain to each and every one of you about this incredible, powerful man. Marshall Sylver is the world's foremost hypnotist. He is a powerful star on stage, television, and movies, a creator of the #1 personal development infomercials, producer of 2 major motion pictures, a best-selling author, professional speaker, a top business consultant of hundreds of thousands of sales and marketing executives, and most importantly, the #1 leading expert on subconscious reprogramming, and he is a master of persuasion and influence, and that is an awesome, impressive resume. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome the one, the only, the powerful Marshall Sylver to the show.
Arthur, thank you so much for having me here. I'm very excited about our chance to chat.
I'd like to thank you, Marshall, for taking time out of your busy schedule to educate me and the listeners worldwide about the power of NLP and about your powerful program, Irresistible Influence. I gladly appreciate it.
Absolutely. So let's dive in.
To everyone listening on this show, I highly recommend go and get your pen and your pad right now. My great friend Marshall Sylver is going to break down layman's terms about the power of NLP, and we're going to talk in depth about irresistible influence. Now, what I'd like to know, Marshall, and can you explain to the listeners in your own powerful way, who is the powerful Marshall Sylver? How long have you been in your powerful industry, and what is your expertise?
I was born and raised on a farm in Michigan. We had no running water. We had no electricity. We had no phone. Often we had little, sometimes no food. I have 9 siblings. There's 10 kids in my family. And
Wow.
My beautiful, amazing mother raised her children almost exclusively on her own. Fathers came and went, and when you grow up in those dire circumstances, you learn very quickly that if you're to have anything, you're going to have to do it yourself. The house that I was born into was condemned, and if you live in a rural area, you know that it's got to be really bad for them to even care. And so we were homeless for about a month, living in the back of a station wagon, my mom, the 10 kids, and it was not easy. The local community came together and created a place for us to live. They converted an old chicken coop. And the chicken coop had running water. It had electricity. At 7 years old, it felt like heaven to me. And other than clucking whenever I get happy and walking a little funny, no adverse side effects. But based upon what we're about to talk about, my life is extremely different. These days, my home is a 17,000 square foot palace here in Las Vegas.
Wow.
And, a lot of people think they might want a 17,000 square foot palace. I say be careful what you ask for. We lived here for about 6 months before I found a bathroom I didn't even know we had. The other home that I have is in Southern California. It's right on the beach near San Diego. So when we get those hot summer months in Vegas, myself, my wife, and my two sons have a place to go get away from the heat, so to speak. These days, my time is split between entertaining and educating. I am called by the media the greatest hypnotist of all time. I've been on Late Night with David Letterman 5 times, Howard Stern's show 5 times, Montel Williams' show half a dozen times, Donnie Deutsch's Big Idea. You name the show, I've probably done it. My books are published by Simon & Schuster, available in multiple languages worldwide. My best-selling book, Passion, Profit, and Power, was also one of the highest-rated personal development infomercials in history. We did over $150 million in sales on that product over the course of the years.
Wow.
And the other part of my life is entertaining. I have headlined on the main stage of the Riviera, the Sahara, the Palms, Planet Hollywood, Paris, and more here in my hometown of Las Vegas. So I get a chance to not only make people laugh until they hurt with the world's largest hypnotic production show, gasp in amazement when I take 3 women, make their bodies stiff and rigid, walk up their bodies like a human staircase. I also have the chance to show them how to use this powerful technology called hypnosis and NLP in their lives to communicate not only to themselves so that they can become better human beings and more effective, also to use the powerful strategies of irresistible influence to get others to give them everything they want. And Arthur, I didn't even tell you this. Toward the end of this interview, I've got a gift for a limited number of people, about 10 people, and the gift is worth $6,000 per gift. So I'm going to give away $60,000 worth of gifts to the listeners toward the end of this interview. All you got to do is stay tuned, get excited, listen to the interview, have some fun, and you may be one of the 10 people I give a gift valued at $6,000 to. So stay on the line.
You are experiencing a life-changing, powerful interview, and you are hearing it first from Arthur Robinson Jr.'s PowerfulInterviews.com.
That sounds like a powerful, irresistible offer. To everyone that's on this call, I highly recommend you have to get involved with Marshall Sylver. He is an incredible professional speaker. He speaks all over the world. You hear the passion that's coming through his voice. Marshall, can you explain to the listeners the power of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and can people use the power of NLP to be more dynamic and successful in their own lives?
Absolutely. NLP, or neuro-linguistic programming, was created by 2 guys named Grinder and Bandler, John Grinder and Richard Bandler. And what they did was they studied the work of a hypnotist named Milton Erickson. Milton was considered to be, and is still considered to be, one of the top figures in the history of hypnosis. Milton used, to a great degree, what I call full awareness hypnosis. It's the ability to simply speak to somebody or set up circumstances in such a way that the desired behavior becomes a natural outcome. So what Grinder and Bandler did was they took Milton's phenomenal work and they isolated some of the things that he did, reframing, anchoring, mirroring, and matching, to name a few, and broke them down so that they could teach his technologies that he was unconsciously competent at to other people, so that people could use it for instantaneous change, whether it's giving up a bad habit or learning a brand new skill or becoming more confident or more focused, and also using those language patterns to be able to influence the minds and actions of others. So neuro-linguistic programming is a small slice of the hypnosis pie. The bigger pie is hypnosis itself. And neuro-linguistic programming came to great attention. People became very aware of it because of a guy named Tony Robbins. Early on in Tony's career, he studied with Bandler and Grinder. and utilized a substantial portion of what they were doing in his own work. And obviously Tony's done some phenomenal work, touched a lot of lives, and that's where people began to learn about neurolinguistic programming and started to use it. Now, my own personal opinion is that neurolinguistic programming wasn't a reinvention of anything. It was an isolation of a small portion of Milton's work, except Grinder and Bandler and then Tony were genius in taking something that had been around for a very long time, hypnosis, taking a small portion of it, renaming it, calling it neurolinguistic programming or NLP, because in this day and age, everybody wants what's newest, what's latest, rather than what's tried and true and been around forever that works. People seem to want to jump on the next bandwagon. And so I encourage everybody that's listening to our interview right now to realize that you certainly have all of the things that you need physically to accomplish what you want to accomplish right now. If I can go from being a poor farm boy, homeless for portions of my childhood, to being a self-made multi-millionaire living in a palace or in the desert, flying around the world exclusively in private jets, and living a life beyond imagination, then I want you to realize that it's possible for you, too, to be a multimillionaire, if that's your desire. It's possible for you, too, to have the relationships of your dreams that operate in harmony. And it's possible for you, too, to have everything you want in every area that you want to. And to do that, you need to understand a simple fact. And I want you to, first note I want you to take is this note. I want you to write in big, bold block letters on that pad of paper that you got when Arthur directed you to do so. I want you to write these words: take action now. When? Now. Because tomorrow never comes. Arthur, I believe that most people are older than they thought they would be at this point in their life. People believed that they would be further along in their life, in their living, in their development, in their process than they are right now. And my beautiful, amazing, sweet mama just passed a few weeks ago, and it broke my heart. I was very, very close to her. I loved my mother deeply. And the thing that I know is that you never know when your time is going to come. And if you're not consistently taking powerful, fearless, huge action toward what you want, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to say, who is that old person in my skin that doesn't have what they want, that's broke, that's sad, that's alone? And so I want you to understand that there's only three things, three very simple things actually, that you need to create anything you want, whether it's becoming a multimillionaire, whether it's finding the right person to share your life with, or right persons, whether it's building your business. Three things you need. The first two are in your control right now, and you're going to receive the information, and it's going to blow your mind. Number one, write this down. Three things to get anything you want. Number one, self-mastery. What is self-mastery? Self-mastery is understanding you control 100% of your thoughts and emotions. Nobody has any power except the power that you hand to them. No one can make you angry. Nobody can make you joyful. Nobody can get you excited. Nobody can put out your dreams unless you give them that power. So nothing has any power except the power that you give it. Number two, what you believe to be true is true for you and nothing else. Self-mastery is understanding that you get to choose what you'll focus on, and what you focus on expands. A lot of people are having a hard time in these economic times, and I get that. My heart aches. What worked 5 years ago for most people doesn't work anymore. An awful lot of people are unemployed, searching for prosperity, searching for, enough money just to put food on the table for tonight. And I want you to understand that more is learned in pain than pleasure. And what I mean by that is I'm not smarter than anybody listening to this conversation right now. I don't work harder than anybody listening to this call right now. I'm not more creative. I just know some things that work that aren't taught to us in school. And one of the things you need to understand is that those that think govern those that labor. And to become more prosperous, you've got to do what you're doing right now listening to this interview. You got to get smarter. And I'm not talking just about book smart. I'm talking also worldly smart, about how the world actually functions. These days, there's a lot of people unemployed. Now, I don't think that that's a bad thing necessarily. In fact, I think that it could be a major revolution, that people realize nothing is secure, that there is no job, no relationship, no physicality that's secure and guaranteed, and that every single day you've got to earn your health, you've got to earn your romance, you've got to earn your friendships, you've got to earn your living. And so I think a lot of times people think that the government's going to bail them out, or their church is going to bail them out, or, somebody owes them a living. And once you grasp the concept that that's simply not true, that nobody owes you anything, then what happens is you start to become more responsible. You start to become more able to create your life on purpose because you're not waiting for things to happen. You are making things happen. In addition, self-mastery is understanding this fact that you're going to end up where you're headed. And so if you take a look at your life 5 years ago and you take a look at your life today and it's not that different, I promise you 5 years from now won't be that different unless you do a couple of things immediately. Now, if a person doesn't have what they want, Arthur, right now, there's usually only two reasons. Number one, they don't know what to do. I love the fact that you have taken such fortitude, such action in creating this interview series. And I took a look at the list and listened to some of the interviews that you've created, and it's phenomenal. The storehouse of knowledge, the people that you have interviewed, the pieces of information that they've already shared to everybody that listens to your show is boggling to me. And the amount of information there already there and accessible, is way more than anybody on this conversation listening to our interview, way more than they would need to create million-dollar years immediately. The challenge is that most people don't have what they want, not because they don't know what to do. A person that wants to lose weight knows eat less, move more. A person that wants to stop smoking knows the only way to stop smoking is to quit putting that thing in your mouth and lighting it. The challenge is that people may know what they need to do. They just can't get themselves to do it consistently. And this is where hypnosis comes in. I don't teach. Primarily, I program. I get right inside of people's heads. I pull out the old programs that don't work, and I put in new programs that do work. I do a 3-day program. It's called Turning Point. It sells for $3,000 per person. And in the 3-day program, I put people in and out of trance all those 3 days and take out the old programs from their youth, the programs that maybe an angry parent put in there that said, you're not enough, you'll never amount to anything, you were a mistake, we wish we'd never had you. I take all those programs out, and I put in programs that would serve people, programs such as, you are a gift to the planet. Everything you touch will turn to silver and gold. You will change many people's lives. You will become very prosperous. You are a gift to the planet. The world is better off because you exist. Now, if all Turning Point did was made people 10 times more confident, that'd easily be worth the $3,000 retail value. The other thing that I want people to write down right now, your net worth is equal to your self-esteem. You know, most people, Arthur, they never follow through because they figure, why bother? I've lost so many times in the past. I've failed at so many things I've touched. Why bother even swinging the bat anymore? I'm just going to sit back, get by, and quit wanting things. You know, the big difference between paupers and millionaires and billionaires is that paupers will see something, note the price tag, and if it's out of their realm, they'll decide they don't want it. You know, I'm talking about a $3,000 seminar, and I'm going to give people an opportunity to figure out how to attend that by the time our interview is done. I'm also going to be giving away some seats to this $3,000 seminar, totally free, complimentary, not a dime. The challenge is paupers will look at something and say, oh, that's too much, I can't afford it, so I don't want it. Whereas a millionaire or a billionaire will look at something and say, you know what, I can't afford that thing and I want it, so I'm going to figure out how to get it.
That's true.
And so for all of us, we need to stop living a limited life and a life that we think we can have and is certain, and understand this true fact, no risk, no goodies. If you want more in your life, if you want a bigger life, part of what you must do is you must start risking at a higher level. You must start taking bigger risks and bigger risks, because if you do not, you will never get to where you want to go, and you'll sit down and you'll lead this compliant and little life that you don't want to live and never step into the realm of the life that you were meant to be living. Oliver Wendell Holmes said a mind once expanded cannot contract to its original state. That once you learn new knowledge, which you give freely on your radio program, once you learn new knowledge, you can't go back. You can't go back to not knowing. Once you have expanded, everything changes. Well, I say a wallet once expanded will never contract to its original state. That once you start living a bigger life,